What is going on, guys? So I know I've been in a slump when it comes to making videos. I've been in a slump in general. The only thing that is actually going right is work. Go figure. But I've just had some personal things going on that it's just been really getting to me. And I've been debating whether or not I wanted to express it here. I mean, there's really no need to. But in a nutshell, I went through a divorce about 1.5 years ago. And I have 3 kids total, but 2 with my ex-wife. And I don't get to see my 2 kids. I'm over $8,000 in lawyer fees, and I've gotten absolutely nowhere. New York State, they don't give 2 shits about fathers. They don't care. So if the family splits up, the father, they don't care. Especially when your ex-bipolar, manic-depressive, psychotic bitch of an ex-wife walks into a courtroom and says, I'm in fear of my life and in life of the children. For absolutely no reason. I've never threatened her. I've never laid a finger on her. I've never hurt her or anything like that. But when a woman walks into a courtroom and says that, New York State hands out order of protections like fucking candy on Halloween. So I have been fighting that for the last 1.5 years. I've seen my kids maybe 3 times in the last 1.5 years, and it kills me. I'm not one of those fathers that could just up and walk away and not have his kids. And I mean, my kids are my world. Even my fucking 18-year-old, my oldest one, I could see her whenever the hell I want. I mean, fuck, she's 18. But I don't even ever hear from her. She doesn't call, text, whatever. And that's a whole nother story. But anyways, my 2 little ones, I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. And there's a lot more behind it, especially with my son. And it just, every now and then, it just kills me. And being a truck driver, what else do you have to do besides think? So I get all these thoughts running through my head and, different scenarios, and it's just, I'm my own worst enemy. I really am. When it comes to that situation, it breaks me to my core. And, my ex-wife doesn't give a rat's ass what she's doing to the kids, and how this is affecting them. She doesn't even allow me to talk to them on the phone anymore. Now, that started about 2 months ago. I was talking to him on the phone, and now all of a sudden she won't even allow that. So, and there's no reason for it. I mean, just because the relationship between her and I didn't work out doesn't mean that you got to rip, the kids away from me and me away from the kids. I mean, she doesn't understand it. She don't care. She doesn't care about anybody but herself, and that was the problem in the marriage. She don't give a fuck about anything but herself. There was no communication, no trust, no nothing. I mean, if she had a problem with me, she wouldn't say anything to me about it. She would just treat me like shit. And instead of communicating about it and expressing, that I'm, this is what you're doing and this is how it's making me feel, no, we'll just treat you like shit and pretty much push you out the fucking door. She's a fucking piece of shit. But anyways, so, like I said, every now and then I get into these little slumps to where, I don't know if it's anxiety, depression, a little bit of both. I don't know. I'm not big when it comes to counselors and psychiatrists and medications and all that crap. I don't do that stuff, especially medications. So, in a nutshell, it's more like I'm self-healing, and I just simply don't know how to do it. So, things have been getting worse and worse. And, I have talked to 2 different people about it, different ends of the spectrum, and I just don't know what to do. There's not much I can do from a legal standpoint as far as, getting my kids or anything like that. in New York State. I mean, in a nutshell. I mean, when my lawyer actually looked at me and said, dude, your best bet is just to sign your fucking rights off, call it a day, and then go after the kids when they're old enough to make their own decisions. And it's coming to that point. It really is. But to me, it's like I never in my wildest dreams ever thought that I would be here in this situation. And, you know, when my divorce had started, that's actually when I decided to come out on the road and become a truck driver to get away from all of that. No, it's not. I wasn't trying to run from my problems, but I needed time to think. And I've always wanted to be, you know, over the road and you know, do exactly what I'm doing right now. And the timing of it actually worked out perfect. I was actually sitting in my apartment one day, and early in the morning, it hit me. It's like, you know what? This is the time to go out on the road. So I got rid of the dump truck job, and then later on that evening, I didn't make no phone calls, no nothing. Now, I had applied at CR England like a year before that, and I never heard back from them. So later on that very evening, when I had finally in my head made the decision that, okay, we're going over the road. Didn't know who I was going with. I mean, the options are endless, obviously. But 4 o'clock that afternoon, I get an email from CR England. And it says, hey, we're going through old applications. We came across yours. Are you still interested in becoming a truck driver? Talk about timing. And that is actually why I ended up at CR England. I didn't even bother with anybody else. Didn't even make a phone call. I said, you know what? You guys hit the nail right on the head. You couldn't have timed it any better. So I did what I needed to do there at home and set it up with the recruiter, got bussed out, and, you know, here I am. So, you know, I appreciate everybody's understanding. I mean, I got a bunch of people that are, you know, sending me messages and leaving comments saying, hey, where the hell are you? And people are actually calling me saying, hey, you know, you haven't been on in a while, you all right? I appreciate that. I love the fact that you guys are, you know, checking up on me and keeping me on my toes and stuff like that. But I really appreciate you guys. And like I said, to me, the last week or so, I've just been debating, do I want to go on YouTube and express everything? Not really. I really don't. I mean, I would, but I don't. There's no need to. So just have the understanding that, you know, sometimes, you know, you really can't judge a book by its cover. You know, I may come on YouTube and, you know, people get to watching my videos and, you know, they see my type of personality and, you know, I got people commenting saying, you know, hey, you know, you're hysterical. I love watching you and, you know, this, that, and the other. And that's one of my biggest things. I love making people laugh. I love it. But, you know, on a personal level, you know, you just don't know what somebody actually has going on in their personal life. Not to mention, you know, the cover-up that I'm trying to be. You know, I don't want to come on here being this angry, depressed type person. That's just not me. It's not me personally, and it's not who I want to be. And I'm doing everything I possibly can to avoid that, but I'm doing it by myself. You know, a lot of people in my situation, they would end up, you know, talking to counselors, talking to psychiatrists, they're on, you know, medications and this, that, and the other. I don't believe in that crap. That's just me. I mean, some people it works. To me, not so much. I mean, I just can't do it. So, I'm working on it. I'll get it. Don't worry about it. So, right now, we are in... Where the fuck are we? Downingtown, Pennsylvania. We're getting loaded with what? I have no idea. Getting loaded going to Salt Lake City. We have 2,132 mile run from where we are now that way. Beautiful run. This is why I love CR England. Okay, if you remember when I was at US Express, I was getting 400 or 500 mile runs, and it was pissing me off. 2,132 miles, one run, one drop. There's kind of a reason behind it, but this is typically what we get. So, to catch you guys up, when I got in this truck, this is a 2019 Freightliner. I don't know if I've expressed it in any of the videos, but I've always known there's something wrong with this truck. Now, back when I first got it, I took off with it, and the truck's doing this all the way down the road, just hopping. And then when you roll down the passenger window, it sounds like a helicopter. You can actually hear it. So right off the bat, I said, okay, I got a drive tire, one or two drive tires that have a flat spot in it. So when I was down in Laredo, Texas, they did the PM on it. They changed out 2 tires. That got rid of the noise, but the hop is still there. I just came off of home time. I went home for 4 days. When I was on my way to Rochester, I had called our roadside team. And I says, can you look up the history on this truck and tell me whether or not this thing's been in an accident? I says, something is telling me that this thing was crashed. You know, and it's just little things. Okay, like when I do my pre-trip, I notice, you know, when you open up the hood, you typically have the steel cables that hold the hood. These are nylon straps. I know that didn't come from the factory. The other thing is the left front axle has been replaced. You could tell that that's newer than the rest of the components under there. And this truck is still hopping. Now the other problem that I've got is under load going up a hill. Every now and then when it goes to drop down a gear, it'll grind like really, really bad, almost to the point to where it puts the truck in neutral because it won't go into the gear. So sure enough, roadside said, yep, January 25th. That truck was in a bad accident. Jackknifed the whole 9 yards. They did a whole bunch of work on the differential. They replaced the left front axle. There was all kinds of damage to this truck. Now, it turns out I wasn't even supposed to take this truck because they weren't done fixing it. So, the plan is, once again, and believe me, I expressed it to my DM, Al swapping trucks. It's ridiculous. But I think my DM, as understanding as he is going to talk to our equipment manager because, like I said to my DM, I'm getting really sick and tired of switching trucks. I've got a lot of stuff, first of all, not to mention a TV and all that crap. So I just want to be in a truck where I can at least get a freaking year out of it. It'd be nice. So he is pushing for me to get into one of the brand new 2020 Freightliners that they have sitting there. So if my calculations work right and everything goes as planned, we are going out the I-80, so you never know. But we should be Salt Lake City by Friday morning-ish. So, and then they're gonna, hopefully, I'll have my new truck assigned before I even get there. That's the plan. And then, once I get there, this load's going to Salt Lake City, so I'll probably get this unloaded, go over to CR England, drop the trailer, get the new truck, swap everything out, and we'll probably pull back out of there on Saturday. So, that's the plan. So you guys have been updated. I'm going to. Oh, the other thing is I bought a new GoPro. That's number 2. So, I stole this one. Stole it. A kid on Facebook was selling it. It's never been used. He's got all kinds of gadgets and all kinds of stuff with it. Now, just the GoPro alone, I think they're worth like $225, $250. This one here's got a backup battery pack and all kinds of connectors and all kinds of stuff with this thing. He sold the whole thing for $150. And yes, I'll probably be upside down, but Dunkin' Donuts all over it. Well, we're backed up to the dock, waiting for the reefer to get down to -10. Should be only a couple more minutes. And then we're going to get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys shortly. I can explain this is yesterday I drove 5.5 hours. Our shipper was in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, something like that. So from the time that I shut down yesterday, or last night, we'll say, if I was to do a 10-hour break, I would have been extremely late this morning. So the government says you can split that 10-hour break, but you have to take at least 8 hours off. So the 5.5 hours that I did not drive yesterday, because you could drive 11 hours in a day, I drove 5.5. So the 5.5 that I didn't drive last night, after 8 hours of a break, I'm going to get those 5.5 hours back, which allowed me to finish driving into the shipper and getting there on time. But within those 5.5 hours, I have to shut down to take my other 2 hours to finish a complete 10-hour break. Now, man, I hate that phone. So we stopped at the Loves, managed to squeeze in an hour-and-a-half nap. Not that I needed it, but I'll take it when I can get it. The Loves ended up having a Wendy's, so we ran in, got something to eat. And then back on the road. So we got about 7 hours of driving left. See, the good thing about this load is I'm not pressed for time by any means. In a nutshell, it's scheduled for like 5 days out, something like that. So I got more than enough time to get there. I'm just gonna mosey along and enjoy the scenery. I love the fact, these loads that I'm not pressed for time, because then I can just kick back and relax. And if I stop, I stop. If I don't, I don't. It doesn't matter. I got plenty of time. That's that. So we're going to keep on trucking. That way. pull into this travel plaza. There's parking. And quite a bit of it. I'm actually surprised to see the amount of parking there is at 7:30 at night. But pretty uneventful day, which is kind of nice. Glad to be out of Pennsylvania again. But, I mean, it wasn't too bad. We're only carrying 25,000 pounds. We got 25,000 pounds of frozen toast. Apparently they need frozen toast in Salt Lake City. So we're going to bring it to them. So I ended up parking on the end of a row. It's really not even a parking spot, but I parked here because my reefer is set at negative 10 degrees and it's 69 degrees out right now. So that reefer is going to run, and it's going to run all night long. So out of respect for the other drivers, I try to find either a spot where there's a couple of reefers in a row and I can get in with them, because if their reefer's running and my reefer's running, it ain't gonna really make a damn bit of difference. But if you got, flatbeds or tankers or dry vans or something like that, I try not to get near them, out of respect for them. Let them get some sleep. They're not used to sleeping with a reefer running. And I mean, like, for example, this is all of 2 feet away from my bed, and I get to listen to it all night long. But I'm so used to it, it almost helps put me to sleep. Where other drivers who, tankers and flatbeds and dry vans and whatnot, they don't want to listen to this thing run all night long. And of course, it's just shy of warm enough to idle the truck. But, well. Figure it's 7:30 now. So we'll probably get rolling again probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're just outside of Cleveland. So hopefully, if it's timed out right, I can beat Cleveland's morning rush hour. And by the time I get to Chicago, granted, it really doesn't matter what time you get to Chicago. There's always going to be traffic, but at least, hopefully, the morning rush hour will be done and over with by the time I get there. That's that. Now, I did talk to my DM, and they are working on finding me a brand new truck. There's no guarantees that it's going to be brand new, as in 2020, but they're trying. I guess he talked to the equipment manager and explained to her, I mean, hell, I've been in what? At CR England in the last 2 years, I think I've been in 5 trucks. 4 or 5. I know the first 2 they retired because they were older trucks, had a lot of mileage on them. And then I had the 2018. So I had 4 trucks. The 2018 I had, that's the one where the shocks in the back of the cab ripped through the frame. That spent 3.5, almost 4 weeks down in Georgia getting repaired for that one. And then this hot toilet here, all the problems that are going on with this truck with the differential and the front axles, and I think it needs new shock absorbers too, because every time I hit a pothole, it's like I'm hitting it with the frame, and it's hard and it hurts. And like I said to my boss, since I've been out here, I haven't had any issues as far as like my back or anything like that. But ever since I got into this truck with it shaking down the road like this and hitting the potholes the way that it does, my freaking back is killing me. So hopefully once we get into the other truck, which should be Friday, hopefully that'll take care of that issue. But other than that, have a good night, guys. A frog in my throat. Have a good night. We will continue our journey to Salt Lake City tomorrow. I'll see you guys then.
Don't forget to subscribe.